Hello everyone, I am the storyteller and I am here to help you today. I know you use this video to fall asleep. So before that, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, where are you from and what time are you watching now? Get comfortable and relax. I still remember the first night I heard the footsteps. It was around 1 o'clock in the morning and I was in my small office near the back corridor on the ground floor. The building was dead quiet except for the buzzing of the fluorescent lights. Then out of nowhere, I heard a set of footsteps on the floor above me. They weren't slow and they weren't fast, but they had a steady rhythm. I felt my spine tighten and my breathing got shallow. I just sat there listening, trying to figure out if I was imagining things. But the steps kept going for about half a minute before fading away. I checked the security monitors right afterward, but there was nothing except static. That was the beginning of everything. My name is Alex, and I've been the night caretaker in this old commercial building for about 2 years. It's a place that used to be busy during the day with offices and small businesses, but most of the tenants left when the owner raised the rent last year. Now only a handful of offices still operate here, and most of those close around 6 o'clock or 7 in the evening. By midnight, the entire place is empty, except for me and maybe a couple of late working people in the shared workspace on the second floor, but they usually leave by 10 or 11. After that, I'm completely on my own. I don't usually feel lonely. I'm not a social guy. My shift starts at 9 o'clock p.m. and ends at 5 a.m. I follow a simple routine. I walk around to check each floor, make sure the doors are locked, make sure no homeless person slipped inside, that kind of thing. I have a small desk in an office behind the main lobby where I keep an eye on the security cameras. I used to spend most nights flipping through phone apps or reading random articles online, but ever since I started hearing these footsteps, I've been on edge the second night it happened. It was maybe 12:30 a.m. I had just finished my second patrol of the building. I grabbed a coffee from the vending machine in the lobby and walked back to my office a few minutes later. I heard those footsteps again. They sounded like they were coming from the third floor. I felt sweat forming on my forehead. I put down my coffee, stood up, and made my way upstairs with my flashlight. Each step I took felt heavier than usual. My heart was pounding and I was breathing a little faster than normal. When I reached the third floor, I didn't see anyone. The corridor was empty. I used my flashlight to check all the corners, even looked inside the restrooms, but I found nothing. The floor was completely silent. I walked back to my office and rewound the security footage, but all the cameras on the third floor showed static during the time I heard the footsteps. Every other camera on the other floors was perfectly clear. That was the first time I realized something strange was going on with the feed. Over the next few nights, the footsteps grew more frequent. They always came after midnight, sometimes around 12:15, sometimes around 1 a.m. Sometimes they sounded distant, like they were at the far end of the corridor on the top floor. Other times they seemed so close that I expected to see someone walk past my door each time I ran to check the area, but it was always empty. The cameras kept showing static. Whenever the sounds occurred, I tried to tell myself that maybe there was some electrical interference, or maybe the old pipes were making those noises. I knew that old buildings can creak and groan at night, but these weren't random creaks. They were actual footsteps, one after the other, with a steady pace. I started to notice that the footsteps would follow a pattern: walk for a few seconds, pause, walk for a few more seconds, pause again. It was like someone was patrolling the hallways the same way I did after about a week. I started losing sleep during the day. I'd lie in bed picturing those empty corridors and the sound of steps echoing through them. My boss didn't believe me when I told him. He thought I was just working too many hours, so I stopped telling him about it. I decided I'd figure it out on my own one night. I set up my phone to record on the third floor while I listened for the footsteps. I wanted some proof that I wasn't going crazy. I placed my phone near the center of the corridor, hit record, and left it there. Then I went back downstairs and waited around 1 o'clock a.m. I heard the footsteps again. They were right above me on the third floor. I waited until they stopped. Then I rushed upstairs to collect my phone, but when I played back the video, the screen was just black after 30 seconds, and the audio turned into a high-pitched whine. Right at the moment the footsteps started, I felt my stomach clench. I had no idea how that could happen. The phone was fine. Before I set it up, the battery was charged. The memory was far from full, but the